Hello everyone, welcome to ASN Code Lab. As said in my previous video, we are going to start CDS Views series. So if you don't have SAP GUI in your system and want to practice, then I have showed how to create account in SAP BTP Cloud and connect it with your Eclipse. Do watch the video. Also, the video link will be mentioned in the description. Okay, today what are we going to learn in this video? Let me convert this into a pointer. Yeah. So today we'll have introduction to CDS views and we'll look into the architecture and what are the advantages of CDS views and some real world use cases of the CDS views. So what is Abap CDS? Abap CDS long form core data services. Abap CDS views are powerful way to define and consume semantic data models directly at the database level in SAP systems. They are widely used in modern SAP development, especially with S/4HANA, to push logic code down to database for better performance and clean architecture. Instead of writing traditional ABAP code to fetch and process data, CDS lets you to define views directly on the HANA database. It will allow you to add the annotations and you can reuse models across applications. So, what does this sentence mean? Consume semantic data models directly at the database level in the SAP system. And also, it allows annotations. So if you see here ABAP core data services semantics are added using either through annotations or through associations. So what does this mean? In deep we'll learn in the upcoming videos when we are implementing the CDS views. But for now, if you see this at end user text dot label, this is an annotations. It is taking sales order as a end user text label. Similarly, association to I underscore customer as alias name is given as underscore customer. So the meaningful field names instead of technical names. That is VBLN is a technical field name, but as a meaningful name, we can call it as a sales order. So the CDS views will understand VBELN as well as your sales order naming convention. So if you tell a user, I need 5 VBLN, he may be not understanding properly or maybe confused. But if you say him as a, I need 5 sales order, it is more understandable to the end user. Same way, we can use these meaningful names in CDS views as well. And our database, HANA database will understand these semantic data models. And also the performance compared to our traditional ABAP code is faster and cleaner architecture. Why CDS views? So the thumb rule or rule of the thumb is simple. Do as much as you can in the database to get the best performance. So in traditional ABAP, we used to write reports and it used to have heavy logic in the application server. So we used to write multiple select queries, nested select queries, etc. That would impact the performance for the application server. But with CDS approach, the most of the logic will be pushed to the database and single CDS view can be reused multiple times. And these CDS views are better performance and readability as well. Now the architecture. At the top is the Fury shell, which acts as a entry point for the user. It hosts components such as Fury apps, and there is a Fury Launchpad, which is a home page, and other UI elements. These are all the apps are developed using SAP UI5 and also provide a role-based responsive user experience. The UI layer does not directly contact with your database layer. It will come through your OData services. OData service is a standardized protocol to exchange the data from the front end and back end, or between the front end and the back end. These OData calls are handled by our SAP gateway, which serves as a bridge between front end and back end. The gateway exposes backend functionality as a RESTful OData services, translating HTTP request from the UI into the calls that the backend ABAP system can process. It ensures the decoupling between UI and the business logic, making system more flexible and scalable. So below is the S4HANA ABAP layer where the uh, core business logic resides. This layer is divided into transactional logic and analytics. So transactional logics handle business operations like create, update, delete, etc. And our analytics supports reporting and the real-time insights. So these both components rely heavily on our CDS views or core data services, which acts as a semantic layer also. Okay. So CDS views define structured and reusable data models with built-in UI annotations. So we have seen this in the previous slides. So these CDS view will also enable both transactional and analytical applications to consume consistent data definitions. At the bottom is the SAP HANA database layer, where our database tables resides. SAP HANA is a in-memory database allowing high-speed data processing and real-time analytics. So serious views are executed directly on HANA. If you see the serious views, it is inside the ABAP application layer and as well as in the database layer. That does not mean it will reside in both the layers. CDS views will be in the ABAP layer itself, but it will push down the code and execute directly on the database, which is in the database layer. Hence, they are representing it on the both the layers here. Yeah, that's all for the architecture. Coming to CDS types. So CDS views has three types: basic view, composite view, and consumption view. Why CDS views is inside architecture? Just to show you, like, by comparing how the views behaves compared with our architecture. So if you see basic view directly reads from the tables. So we have a CDS view here. Let me clear it. So we have a CDS view and our basic view will act here. So CDS view reading data from the database table. Then our composite view combines the multiple views. So composite view we can do some operations. It might have a multiple views combined together, etc. Then consumption view. Consumption view also in the application layer, but it's more attached towards the SAP gateway and Fury. It will not fetch data from the database directly. So how our basic view is associated with database table, similarly I can say our consumption view will be more towards the end user. So how the end user should see the applications, what all the fields should be visible to the end user, how the data has to pass, like if there are annotations, o data dot publish equal to true. So by giving these annotations, the CDS view is exposed as a o data services, and that can be further utilized by the Fury. So our consumption view is mainly used for the UI reporting like Fury apps. So what are the advantages of CDS views? As discussed earlier, better performance as it is a HANA optimized. We can reuse the CDS views, so reusable data models. It will reduce the ABAP code. We do not say like completely 100% it will avoid the ABAP code, but it will reduce the ABAP code usage. Then built-in authorization handling, then this also we'll see in our upcoming video. Then seamless UI integration. Okay, coming to advantages. So we saw what are the advantages of CDS views, but when you compare with our DDIC views with our CDS views, so as a platform, it can be created in SAP GUI or Eclipse. We can create in both of the tools, but serious views we can only create it from the Eclipse platform. We cannot create it from our SAP GUI. Calculations, calculated columns are not possible. Calculated columns are possible in serious views. So what are those calculated columns? Operator, CDS functions, case expression, aggregated functions. So we'll see these things in our upcoming videos when we are implementing the CDS views or when we are creating the CDS views. Parameters. So input parameters are not possible. We cannot give input parameters to our DDIC views, but we can give input parameters to our CDS views. So we can take the input parameter and even we can filter out the our select query in the where conditions, etc. So we can uh, make utilize of the input parameters. Joins and unions. In DDIC views, only joins are possible, and in our CDS views, joins and unions both are possible. Aggregations. Grouping and aggregations are not possible. Grouping and aggregations are possible in CDS views. Metadata. Annotations are not possible. So in CDS views, annotations can be used as a individual for each field. Also, we can give some annotations, or there are few annotations as of for the whole view. We can make use of them. We will see them in our upcoming videos. So these are some real world use cases. So we can utilize our CDS view to our SAP Fury apps. For, we can utilize for the analytical reporting, then for the KPI dashboards and data extractions for API. So you can create some APIs through which data can be extracted using CDS views. So embedded analytics in S4HANA. So these are the real world use cases. Yeah, that's all for this video. Let's summarize quickly. So what we have learned in this video is what are the CDS views, why we want CDS views, and we saw the architecture of the CDS view and types of CDS view we discussed, which are there are total three types of CDS views which we discussed, and what are the advantages of CDS views, and also comparing with our DDIC views versus the CDS views, and few real world scenario examples. That's all for today's video. I hope you found this helpful. If you did, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the channel. In the upcoming videos, we'll start with our CDS views practicals. So stay tuned. Thank you.